Hi, and welcome to part 2 of Wednesday morning. That's February the 3rd. We're going to be looking at 2 more single bonded functional groups. Remember, your job is to master these drawings and make sure you keep a good summary of all the different rules. Once again, some of these can look overwhelming when we're doing them. Take your time, break it down systematically the way that I show you in the videos. What we're going to work on today are amines. Now, amines are part of your proteins. Always remember that what these functional groups do is they change the function of a hydrocarbon chain. So amines are very important with proteins because proteins have multiple roles within your body. Amines are suffixes, meaning they come at the end, and the ending is amine. Always look for your longest chain, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's bute. There's your amine, butanamine, and it's on the second carbon. Now remember, you can put the number inside of the chain, so you can go butan to amine. Okay, here we've got 2 amines. I always want you to have your chart that's got the priority of the functional groups in front of you so that you can see as far as single bonded functional groups go, amines are right up near the top. They're way above a lot of the other ones. So we're going to start from this end. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got butanediamine because we have 2 of them. Remember, these prefixes here tell you how many of those functional groups you have. They're on the first and second carbon. We also have a fluorine, 4-fluoro, on the 4th carbon. Okay, now this is the trickiest thing we've done so far. You have an amine, but it's got something jutting off of it. So let's look for our longest chain. It's butan. It's amine, it's on the second carbon, and coming off of the amine you've got a methyl. So the location is N-methyl 2-amine, 2-butamine. So if you have a group coming off the amine, its location is N. It's on the N. Let's try a trickier one here. This is butanamine. The amine is on the second. It's on the second carbon on the longest chain, and coming off the N, we have a methyl. And also coming off the N, we have an ethyl. So that was a challenging one. So sometimes you've got a longest carbon chain, and then you got smaller carbon chains, either 1 or 2, coming off that N group. Let's try and draw one so we can see what we're trying to do. Look for the long root there first. Oct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now start looking for functional groups. On the 4th carbon, 1, 2, 3, 4, we have an amine. On the second carbon, we have a fluoro. Coming off of the N, we've got a methyl group. Remember, this is always a location. And coming off the 3rd carbon, we have a methyl group. So there's 3-methyl, N-methyl, 2-fluoro, 4-octanamine. Okay, let's take a look at the last of these groups, and these are called ethers. And so they're oxy groups. So they're single bonds to oxygen, and then there's a carbon chain attached to that. So I always look for my longest carbon chain first whenever I'm doing ethers. So I just try and find out where those long chains are. So before I start to name these, I do this. This is called a methoxy because meth is 1. There's 1 carbon coming off this single bonded oxygen. So longest chain first, it's propane. It's 1 methoxy propane. That's methoxy. So I got butane, and on the second carbon I've got an ethoxy. So it's butane, and it is 2 ethoxybutane. That's all one word, it blurs together. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got butane. Now I start to look at what's on there. On the first and second carbon, I've got methoxys, so there's 2 of them, so you've got to have dimethoxy. Now I've messed up here. I've got to fit this in. I've got on the third carbon 3 chloro. So this is just showing that it belongs right in there. So it should read 1, 2 dimethoxy 3 chlorobutane. Now don't forget, you could also call it 3 chloro 1, 2 dimethoxybutane. It doesn't matter which order these two go in. Let's take a look at a drawing. Always find your root. 1, excuse me for 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the first carbon, I have an all group. On the third carbon, I have an ethoxy, which is 2 carbons coming off the single bonded oxygen. And on the second carbon, I've got a methoxy. Okay, folks, that's it for single bonded functional groups. You should be spending your morning working on trying some of the worksheets on that. Once again, anytime you run into a problem, feel free to contact me.